So you talk about, that the other options, there's Division One, then there's
Right.
other.
Right.
What was the thing that stood out the most to you at that Division Two level program, the school itself? What was so good about it in relation to Division One?
Um, Development. It allows athletes the time to pan out without there's still the pressure to win. Like, look, I had a coach tell me that a winner is a winner. If you won a national championship at D3, you're a winner. I can work with that because winning is a mentality. Winning is a culture. So that aside, Division Two allowed athletes to get where they fit and take a slightly slower path to where they needed to be. If you pan out by junior year, that might be what they need. Bring you along slowly, overlap you with some existing talent. At Division One, they need you to win today, yesterday, as a matter of fact. Come in ready to roll. And a lot of times that goes with even technical skills and those kind of things. It's like, are you winning? Are you running fast times? Are you jumping far? We can use you immediately for points. We can put you in that uniform and get you on that track, conference, nationals, good to go. And so I think that was the main difference is there's a different culture. Not so much amongst the athletes because the athletes, camaraderie between athletes is almost universal.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the culture between athletes and coaches, athletes and administration, coaches and administration. There's a different culture at smaller schools.
And so you obviously did really well there at the Division Two level, right?
Yeah.
And what happened next? So obviously school ends, the
Right.
clock runs
Right.
out. What
Right.
happened after that with you?
So I got that time to develop at that D2 level and ended up competing against the Division One talent that I had left, and that panned out really well. I got my shot to, I was earmarked as an Olympic hopeful. I got my shot to make a couple U.S. teams, compete with a lot of good guys. It seemed like it was the path for me, like it was going to take off. And then I sustained a back injury. I rake pits incessantly and deeply. I fluff them because that's what ended my career, was a hard patch in the pit. I had out jumped the place that we raked, and
Oh, wow.
it was basically cement. And so
Wow.
when I hit it, an old football injury reignited, and I herniated the disc in my back again, and that was it.
Wow. And
Yeah, man.
obviously as a jumper, like that's devastating because there's so much impact
Yeah.
and force. Mhm.
So I basically had to trade my pro career for what would eventually become my master's career and chasing my daughter around the yard and
Mm.
remaining an athlete because the disc material shaved off, my body reabsorbed. Because they didn't cut me, I didn't have any complications of fusing and that kind of thing. And so now
Mm.
today I'm absolutely fine.
Every athlete, probably like 98% of the athletes that aren't the ones that make it to that big paycheck, have a similar story. It was either injury or
Yeah.
something, or just they didn't have enough resources.
Yep.
What is life like for athletes who are just coming off of college?
Post collegiately, okay, I got to go to work. Let's start that. I got to pay bills.
Mm-hmm.
So either you're working a full-time job and training where you can after that, or you're working a part-time job and you're training after that. With the full-time job, you're probably making at least a decent amount of money to pay some bills, but that still doesn't account for equipment. Maybe you're paying a coach, or you've gotten some way to get some assistance or coaching, um, travel to get you to and from meets, entry fees, all of that, things
Mm-hmm.
that the college took care of for you. And you didn't even realize there were entry fees.
Yeah.
Now you're paying fees, you're doing all that, and that's on a full-time job. A part-time job, you're struggling for the cash to do all of that. You might have a little more time to train, but you're struggling to put those things together so that you can get the job done. So what ends up coming crashing down on your head is this time management piece that everyone says college is about time management. Not like the real world, not even
Yeah.
close. The real world is what you do with your time matters and makes every difference to the outcome.
The last couple of years, there were some of the top times in the world just in the college rankings.
Yes, 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 yes,
Where are
yes.
those athletes going?
I'm so glad you asked that question. I don't know where they go because somewhere in this world there is a world-class sprinter, a world-class jumper, a world-class distance runner counting beans at some tower for some organization, and no one knows who they are. Meanwhile, there's an entire culture who is going, where did they go? Because they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Our system, and this is probably going to get me in some trouble, but the truth is, our system in this country, our club system in this country, is so dysfunctional and perhaps even defunct, at least when it comes to the ranks of post-collegiate. Our youth system is the best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
There are youth clubs to be had in every city in this country, and they come out in droves, armies of little kids who come out and run from ages 6 and 7 all the way up to 18, maybe even 19 if you got an early birthday and you were a freshman in college and you can come back. So that part of our development is great. They go off to college, and obviously our collegiate ranks, while we do recruit from overseas, while there are multiple divisions, that's all domestic. We have the biggest gene pool in the world, and we are phenomenal at that level.
Mm-hmm.
Where do they go? It becomes a struggle of time, scheduling, finances to be able to do that. And I wish I knew where they went. That's part of why I coach the way I do. That's part of why the system, at least, my part of our system is really, really focused on developmental athletes, because I've seen them wash out to no fault of their own. They're not quitters. They don't have a place to go. They're literally a nation of wandering athletes who eventually settle into other tribes. My work tribe, my party tribe, my this, my that. The culture and lifestyle is ripped apart, and they're scattered to the wind once their effectiveness at the NCAA level is done. We don't have a true under 23. There's this level between the ages of 20 and 23, college age kids, post-collegiate age kids, who could still be competing at a very high level and develop into those Olympic level athletes. Now it's like, okay, if you're an NCAA champion and you have a world championship qualifying time and you made it to the trials, welcome to the next level. What happens to number 4, number 6, number 12, who still is better than everybody else in the world except for their collegiate competitors and maybe a sprinkling of pros? Where did they go? Why were they told they couldn't compete?
How do you think we can switch that up? What can we do now to moving forward?
So a lot of times we stratify coaches by their station versus what they actually know and their effectiveness. So if you're a high school coach, you often get talked down to, or you get told, thanks, we'll take it from here. And I'm like, I've got a relationship with that kid. I'm the one that coached them to be what you want. I might have some notes that can help you. I don't want to step on your toes. That's your business. But I want to make sure they're getting to the right environment, to the right coach, to the right situation. You might want to try this wording because that really helps them. They understand it this way. It's not an ego thing. It's a communication thing. Why is your club severed from you when you cross that NCAA line, when you leave your senior year? Why are those that taught you the culture and the sport now severed from you almost completely, leaving you with no safety net after your 4 to 6 years are done in NCAA, NAIA collegiate competition? When you are done, now there's no club for you to go back to
Yeah.
because your youth club was not able to extend into an under 23 club,
Yeah.
into a senior level club with funding.
I want to end it with, what is your biggest suggestion for the three people? One is the high schooler coming out of college.
Okay.
Two is the college athlete finishing up. And then three, for that person who's trying to figure out how to make it to the next level.
For the high school athlete, work. Like stay in the moment and work. The only separator at that high school level really is skills and work ethic. Now, you got some who will overtrain, and you got some who will pay every expert in the world to have an edge. Your time is coming. To the high schooler, your time is coming. Just work. Work faithfully on your craft. Get your skills up. You're going to get a weight program in college. Believe me, everybody has one. You're going to get stronger in college. You're going to get experience in college. Right now, just work and love the sport. Work and love the sport, because it really is, it's a game. We're playing a game that allows us to use some God-given talent, and it's amazing. It's a culture with a sport, not a sport with a culture.
Mm-hmm.
So love the sport and work hard. For the collegiate athlete, know your worth. I hate to say it, and I'm sorry if college coaches don't like to hear that. Know your worth. You're there for a reason. Never forget that you got recruited. In most cases, even for a walk-on, never forget that you were a preferred athlete. It even says that on a walk-on's paper, preferred walk-on status. They wanted you there. Know your worth. Now, I say this to all the athletes, bring all that advice with you. Keep working. Keep your love for the sport, because as you get to those higher levels, it's harder and harder. It becomes a job. So you got to keep the love. But know your worth, because at that collegiate level, it's a business and it is chewing you up.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. Now, don't be a prima donna. Don't be a headache. No, there's a lot of great coaches who really do have your best interest at heart. I don't want to ever paint a bleak picture of collegiate athletics, but it's a business.
What is your biggest suggestion for that person who's trying to figure out how to make it to the next level?
Don't walk away. Give your club coach another call. Give him another shot. If you feel like you don't have any place to go and you're being juggled around, find somebody that understands your situation. And it does not have to be overcomplicated. Okay. I've taken athletes with my little club and the little resources that we have, and we have made national qualifiers. We have made national record holders for international athletes. We have set PRs, done things, sent people to Olympic trials, all on a regimen of 3 to 4 days a week of hard training. And the rest of the time, you got to work. You got a family. You got things to do. It can be done. So don't walk away from the sport. Give it a little more time, especially if you're a developmental athlete, because that's what that word means. Is it's not that you're not good enough. You just need a little more time in sport. We need you. That's a coach pleading with you. We need you because our culture is dying at graduation.
All right, Steve. So great talking to you. And I'm sure we'll be
Absolutely.
in touch. And I'll put his information with the track club, ways to reach out to him, his social media handles, all online for you guys to check out. And we'll be talking to you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And best of luck on everything you do. I really look up to what you do, man.
Thank you. Likewise. Appreciate that. You have a good one.
All right, you too.